The unit, 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 the unit.
Yo, what's happening and stuff like that? It's me, Walshunit, back again with another episode. Don't know why I started like that, because I think I was more focused on remembering the episode number. Because usually I come on and I'm waiting while the intro's playing and I'm like, shit, what number episode is this? What number episode is this? That doesn't sound right. Anyway, but this time I checked the episode number and this is episode number 18. And then while it was, but this time while the intro was playing, I was thinking, oh no, what's this episode called? Whereas I don't name the episode until after the episode. I just kind of pick something out of the episode and name the episode that. Where are my glasses? That's what I'd love to know because I need them for this episode. 1 second now. Oh, very professional, aren't they? No, I'm gonna have to fucking. They're there. I won't. I leave. Do you know what? I leave it in. I leave it raw. I leave it. I was gonna fucking edit this bullshit out, but there's no point. Fuck it. Do you know what I mean? We're recording away. Are we recording? Yes, we are recording. So I'm after having the laziest 2 weeks that I can remember having, like, in a long time. I don't know why I keep overthinking my sentences. That definitely wasn't correct the way that I said that. But yeah, last week I was off work all week, and I did basically fuck all, and it was fucking brilliant. It was class, like. The best part of it was not having to set my alarm. So my daughter has gone away and on holidays. She's coming back soon. So yeah, she could if she could hurry on a little bit more now, that'd be grand. I'd be happy with that. Like, do you know what I mean? Because like, even though like it's like I'd be very busy all the time and making sure that we're fed and making sure that like getting up early all the time and everything, and you know, all that kind of like, it just hurry on and come back, yeah, because it's getting a bit weird and lonely around here. So that's happening soon. She's coming back the next couple of days, so looking forward to that. So while she was gone away, I said, you know what, I'm going to just take a bit of time to myself, a bit of time to relax. I had Badger down. He did the episode with me, as he saw, and then I travelled up with him the following day and did an episode of their podcast, which is the Red Line Republic podcast, and that was a great crack. Good laugh altogether now. Not as much of a tour as he got of Limerick that I got up there, but me, Badger and Dan did go to Supermax about half an hour away. They had to travel about a half an hour to go to Supermax. Would you believe that? Imagine having to travel a half an hour to go to Supermax. That'd be like me going to the Barack Obama Plaza or something for every time I needed Supermax, like. But then again, with me, I probably would say like that I need Supermax because, yeah, I don't know. But in the last 2 weeks, right, or nearly 2 weeks, I haven't so much as made a slice of toast at home. Genuinely. I've had tea, yeah, but that is it. I haven't even made a slice of toast all week. All 2 weeks, should I say. So it's been all eating out and takeaways all the time, every day. And yeah, I don't regret it. It is what it is. I was taking a break, so I just said I'd do break takey stuff. I didn't want to be going just cooking dinners and like, I don't know, because I didn't really have a schedule, do you know what I mean? Whereas usually I'd be like, oh, I have to make sure now I cook the dinner before this time because, you know, we'll both need to eat and blah blah blah. But now I'm kind of just doing my own thing for the last little while, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just do whatever I want when I want, and there's no limit on it, like, do you know what I mean? There's no time, there's no, yeah, nothing, like, you know. So yeah, been very lazy, very fat, very unhealthy, but do you know the way I signed back up for the gym over 2 months ago now at this stage, I suppose, and I went twice, so the number is still twice, but I'm after coming up with a solution on how to stop wasting money on the gym. And I tried to do it yesterday, but it wouldn't work. I couldn't cancel it. I was going to cancel it, and I was thinking, like, in my mind, I'm thinking, like, if I cancel the gym now, that's going to be great because I won't be wasting that money. Instead of going like, oh, I better start going to the gym and making an effort. But no, my logic is like, sure, just cancel it. It's like that Kermit the Frog with the hood. He's just here. And he's like, cancel your gym membership. Go on, do it. Bet you wouldn't cancel your gym membership. I bet you wouldn't cancel your gym membership. And there's all, meanwhile, then there's all chicken or gravy all over my face. So yeah, that was my solution. And thankfully it didn't work. But I'll probably just get another Figari and just cancel it anyway and make it work. So yeah. Because there's no point in me saying like, oh, I'm going to start going and all this, because I don't think I will. Like, I really don't. Because I just don't have the motivation. I don't have the motivation to eat right. Not even that I don't have the motivation to eat right. I just don't know how to just incorporate it into my everyday life. I know, like, you have to prepare and you have to do shopping for healthy stuff and all that, but that I'm not able to do it. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous that I'm not able to do it. Do you know that kind of way? Because it's not actually that big of a deal, but in my mind, it is a big of a deal. It is a big of a deal. It is a big deal in my mind to have to, like, oh, go now do your shopping for the week or whatever. Whereas what I do is fucking just go shopping for that day and maybe the next day, and then wing it after that. Do you know what I mean? And then, like, maybe the next time I have to get dinner, I'll just go shopping for that day or the next day. Do you know, a day or two after that original dinner. So yeah, that's the way I've been doing it, and that is what I would love to change. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever way my brain is wired, it's just impossible for me to do those simple things. And like, the HSE don't want to help me. So what am I supposed to do? I know, like, it's mind over matter. Is it? What's that mean? Does that? No, that's not what this is it? I don't know. But like, I know it's all in my head, and I can do whatever the fuck I want to do, but it is, like, the reason that I can't do what I want to do, because it is all in my head, and that's also where decisions are made, are in your head too. So how do I, like, one part of my brain is coming up with the idea, but the other part of my brain is not executing that idea. So there's a fucking broken wire somewhere, or a short circuit, or whatever. Be handy if the doctors just had like a fucking diagnostics tool, wouldn't it? And just plug it into your ODB port and just check what's wrong with you. Then again, I don't really want to know where that port would be. So maybe that's not the best idea. But like, my heart was in the right place, like, true. What else did I get up to? So yeah, I had Badger on my podcast, gave him a tour around Limerick. I went up to and did his podcast. I came home that night. I went to Jap Fest last weekend up to Mondello Park. There's like the drifting was on up there, and then like a big, just all loads of cars on display that you can go around and look at. So that was cool, something different. Do you know what wasn't cool? The food that I bought. It was cool. It wasn't roasting, like, but the price of it wasn't cool. So I don't mind saying this, because there was about 17 places to get food up there, so I'm not really calling anybody out, but even at that, I don't care, because it was madness. I went to a food trailer truck, and I got a curry cheese chip, a cheeseburger, and a can of Coke. Now, when I say cheeseburger, right, it was 2 burger buns, there was a burger in it, and there was a slice of cheese in it. One single slice of cheese, one single meat patty, as they call it, and 2 burger buns, right? Curry chip, cheese, curry chip, cheese or whatever you want to call it, right? Definitely not fucking chips, cheese, curry anyway. Definitely not chips, cheese, curry anyway, boy. Definitely not chips, cheese, definitely not chips, cheese, curry anyway, boy. Alright? Yeah, boy. Chips, cheese, curry. It definitely wasn't fucking chips, cheese, curry. It was a curry cheese chip or a curry chip cheese. I'm guessing there was about 30 chips in it. Would that be loads? Is that a small portion or a big portion? 30? No, so I suppose like 10. Yeah, I'd say there was about 30 chips in it, right? And a bit of curry and cheese. No, it was grand. It was nice, and the burger was grand. And I ended up grabbing a bit of red sauce and fucking mayonnaise off a different stall because I forgot to get it from the original stall. But then I was kind of half afraid to ask for it at the original stall also. This stall didn't even have salt, actually. My brother was there, and he just got plain chips. He wasn't even hungry. He just wanted something to fucking hung. And he asked for salt. And they were like, no, sorry, we don't have any. They don't have any salt. How don't you have any salt? Bring loads, like. It's your... Do you know what? That's your business, like. Bring salt. Or did they just not want the... Do they just know that they don't need salt? And do they know that they don't have to charge a decent price, that they can just rob people? Because people are going to be hungry and there's queues everywhere and you'll just kind of settle for what you can get. But anyway, back to it, right? A burger, cheeseburger, a curry cheese chip, cheese, and a can of Coke. €25. €25. That's €100 for a family of 4. That's madness, like. 25. And right now, you could lose £25. That's €100 for a family of 4. That's fucking madness. I went into the Texas Stakeout a couple of weeks ago because myself and one of the boys wanted to get something to eat, and I was like, I don't want like the normal like kebab or this or that. Just I wasn't in the mood for it. I wanted something like vol-au-vents or something, right? So then he got vol-au-vents into his head, and we were on this mad mission looking for vol-au-vents. We went into one place and we were like, so are you serving food? And your man goes, no, sorry, just drink today. Like, all you have to say is no, and then we'll know that it's just drink. Because it's a pub. It was open. You're not serving food. So, it's obviously just drink today, like. So, you could have just said no, we're not serving food. Or you could have let us know, like, no food stopped at 4. Or, do you know, no, but there's food tomorrow. Do you know, just let us know something. No, just drink today. So I was like, of course, me being hilarious, I was like, give us 2 vodka and Red Bull. So, and then we just laughed and walked out. But we went into Texas Stakeout, and we got vol-au-vents and chips. And it was 22 quid each. So it was cheaper for vol-au-vents and chips. Now, I know it's not the most expensive meal you can get. It was cheaper for that in the Texas Stakeout than it was for a burger and chips and a drink in Mandela Park. Absolute lunacy. And do you ever hear people when they call it the Texas Steakhouse? It's not like it is a steakhouse, I suppose. Is it? What makes it a steakhouse? The fact it has steak in the name? Then again, oh my God, I'm just after realising the word steak in Texas Stakeout has nothing got to do with steak. It's about a stakeout. Because it's just, yeah, it says Texas Stakeout. And a stakeout is when you set up somewhere and, like, do you know the way, like, detectives and all, detectives in, like, a TV show would be parked in the car and they'd have, like, the binoc, and they'd be looking through the binoc, looking at the subject, and be like, fucking, their subject, and then they'd have, like, a newspaper up over their face, and they might have sandwiches and tea and stuff. That'd be like a stakeout. You're, like, watching and waiting and commiserating. So yeah, Jesus, that's mad. But you'd assume, because they do good steak in there, that stakeout means steak. And that's why people say steakhouse, because steakhouse would make more sense, because it's probably classed as a steakhouse. So there, now, how would you like that? We're figuring things out here together. Every day is a school day, especially today. Or as some people say, especially today. Or as Snoop Dogg said in that song, especially a bitch. And I won't sing the rest of it. Yeah. So yeah, it was bonfire night. Bonfire night is over. And I got a message from a fella on bonfire night. Nod, if you're listening. This is a test to see if we're listening. But then again, someone would probably fucking send it to Nod. I'd be like, oh, Walsh, you mentioned you on the podcast. But Nod says to me, here, lad, what's that fucking bonfire night thing in around Limerick? I was like, what? I said, what do you mean? What is it? Like, I said, you don't know what bonfire night is? He was like, no, I'm from Clare. Like, what, do you know? And what's going on in Limerick? Bonfire night. I was like, how do you not know about bonfire night, man? It's just... And then I was like, I was thinking, like, is it like, don't they... Well, wasn't the original thing that you light fires and banish bad spirits or something like that? Is that? Is that bonfire night? May Eve, they call it somewhere, don't they? And then other places, do they call it something else? In America or something, don't they have a name for it as well? But the tradition in Ireland now is to just light fires and batter cars. But, like, I don't know why those two things come in hand. But like, oh, don't drive past there now because it's bonfire night. Like, yeah, but like, they should be just lighting fires. Like, they shouldn't be, technically. I know it's bad for the environment and it's probably illegal to be lighting fires in the green, and it's a waste of the fire brigade's time when there's more serious things for them to be dealing with. I understand all that, yes, but bonfire night is just going to keep happening, like, you know. But like, if they are going doing it, why not just stick to standing around getting a laugh at a bonfire instead of having to add in the fact that you have to batter cars and stuff? That's bullshit, like. Yeah, I just never understood that part of it. But yeah, back to what I was saying about the food, right? So that's mad, right? 25 quid for that food. But then that got me thinking about the way that places, I won't say where, but like some places would have a meal deal there, and the meal deal will look like a good price. And then you look and realise, oh, there's no drink with that meal deal. And then you ask for a drink and it's $4.70. And then you're like, oh, no, it's more expensive than a normal meal. So this isn't even a good deal. Why am I even rhyming? Why am I a poet and I didn't even know it? I never even meant to do that. But yeah, it's gas the way people do that. I can imagine them all sitting around at a meeting or something. They're like, yeah, what about if we do this meal? And they're like, yeah, that's a good deal. Oh, right, okay, let's think of something different. And you're like, what? You're like, yeah, we don't want to be giving good deals. We want to catch people. So we want to make it look like a good deal. And then we want them to add on a drink. And that's $4.75. And then they'll realise, oh, fuck. Oh, what about garlic sauce? Or what about gravy? Or what about curry to go on the side? Yeah, no matter. $4.75 again. And then before you know it, your meal is $37.50. Do you know what I mean? And your stomach is talking to you after it because it wasn't even filling. So yeah, just be wary of that. Like, when you're going getting a meal, just look and go, okay, there's no sauce with this, there's no drink with this, so how much is it actually going to cost? And, do you know what I mean? Go into deals, snake a bottle of Coke into your pocket, get a load of straws, link them all together, put them up your sleeve, put it into your mouth, and that way then you can have the Coke in your pocket and it'll be like a little fucking Coke dispenser, and you can just be drinking it away while you're eating your meal, and then you won't get fucking absolutely kicked out of fucking, I don't know where, somewhere, for consuming goods what weren't purchased on the premises. So yeah, that's a fucking tip for you now. Or here's another tip: wear a jumper that's too big for you, right? And when you're in the car, spill a bottle of Coke all over your sleeve, and then when you're in the restaurant, you leave your sleeve soaking wet, and then you can just squeeze the sleeve into your mouth and have little sips between your meal then. Isn't that a good idea? And they can't say anything to you for it. Like, they can't be like, oh, what's the story with your man with the soaking sleeve? And then you're going, what? And you're trying to stay still because your hood is full of 7-Up. Do you know? Because you have a waterproof jacket on and the hood is down and you're after spilling a 2 litre. You're after spilling a 2 litre bottle of 7-Up into your hood and you're trying to stay dead still and walking pure slowly. Hi, can we get a table for 4, please? And you're walking behind as if you're balancing a fucking sweeping brush on top of your nose or something like that, and you're walking pure, still and steady, so you don't spill your fucking hood 7-Up. That's a good idea. That's another tip, actually. So one is soak your sleeve in soft drink, and then the other one is fill your hood up with 7-Up, and just walk real slow. And then when they'll be like, "Oh, is everything okay, Mr. Sir?" And you'll be like, "Yeah, I'm just shy. I just walk slowly when I'm shy." And yeah, then like even your friends can when the waiter isn't looking or whatever, you can say to your friend, "Go on, go on, go on, go, go, go," and he can just get up then and lap up some of the 7-Up out of your hood, like a dog, not gonna like that. So yeah, fucking, I never even thought of that. Like, I just literally thought we figured that out together, me and you, just while you're on your way to work or chilling in home or hungover or whatever. Me and you, John, we figured this out together, and Mary, me and you, we all figured this out. So if your name is John or Mary or any other name, put it in the comments. Any other name in the history of names, whichever one it is, then it's pure coincidence because I'm just after mentioning you. So put your name in the comments and stuff like that. And I keep meaning to say as well, I'm trying to build up my Instagram following, because Instagram is very hard to build without like begging, really. So if you could just type in Walshunit on Instagram and just give me a follow, that'd be greatly appreciated. Also, you can follow me on Facebook for some reason, Snapchat, TikTok is Walshunit41, YouTube is Walshunit, fucking the Unit podcast, as you know, because you're listening to it, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, just in case whatever, I'm stating the obvious now, but just in case whatever platform you're listening on right now doesn't suit, then you have options of other platforms. So yeah, but what I'm trying to really push at the moment is my Instagram. So if you could just give my Instagram a follow, that would be greatly appreciated. And tell everyone else though, send them all my stuff and send them this podcast, and we'll try do a push and do a grow. And yeah, because we're fucking 18 episodes in now, and that's good. It's phenomenal for me. Anyway, phenomenal for me because I can't do anything for that long except for work. So yeah, let's keep it going and let's grow this motherfucker. Let's grow this motherfucker. Yeah? Will you help me? Yeah, nice one. And I will buy you an oat milk cappuccino then. Do you know, when they make it big and all, and worth a fortune, I'll buy you an oat milk cappuccino. Which everybody loves. Anyone who tries it is mad about it. Anyone who tries an oat milk cappuccino tells me, it's unreal. So it is. It's decent. Yeah. So try an oat milk cappuccino and get back to me. Let me know. Put it in the comments. Won't you? Because anyone I've convinced it to don't want to admit it. Convinced it to? Did I say that? Introduced it to? I definitely didn't say that, like, did I? So anyone I introduced it to. So yeah, introduce people to my podcast. Introduce people to oat milk cappuccinos. Introduce people to my social media. And we'll be cousins then, know what I mean? So yeah, I opened my phone the other day actually while I was literally fucking chilling with the goodies, lounging in paradise, and I opened my phone, and do you know what opened on my phone the second I opened it? That fucking MyFitnessPal app, food tracker, calorie thing was just open on my screen. I was like, alright, yeah, phone. Cheers, phone. Thanks for fucking the hint. Do you know what I mean? They want me to do better and be better and look better and feel better. But like, it's not happening, bud. I went on 2 long walks alright recently, myself and the old Mungo Jerry fella. And yeah, hopefully we'll do that a little bit more frequently, and that'll be me getting a little bit more active. And yeah, that's always positive. So that's the plan anyway. So if I do cancel membership, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna just lounge around. Do you know, that doesn't mean I'm gonna be chilling with the goodies lounging in paradise. It means that I won't feel as guilty about not going, because that's what's happening to me at the moment. I'm going like, You're spending fucking money every month on that gym membership and you're not using it. And that makes me feel worse. Not because like I'm like, oh, that money now is gone or whatever. It is a waste of money, yeah. But that's not the thing. It's just the fact that my membership is active and I'm not using it. That makes me feel more guilty than actually wasting the money. For however that works. Figure it out yourself, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm not saying like that if I cancel the membership I'm just gonna become a fucking bedero, a couch bedero. Like at the moment now I'm like, oh, will I go for a walk? And then I'm like, no, sure, why would you go for a walk? You have a gym membership, just go down there and do some stuff. And then I'm like, oh no, but this or but that, and making excuses and blah blah blah. And then I almost can't justify going for a walk when there's a gym, sheltered, comfortable, warm, fucking swimming pool and sauna and steam room, and then you can get a shower afterwards and be fresh and blah blah blah. So that probably makes more sense. But yeah, because that exists and that membership is, what am I saying? That membership is active, then it makes me feel like, sure, why would you go for a walk when you have that active membership? Slow, tick, stupid fucking mentality. But look, that's what I'm trying to shake. But I am getting a little bit more water into me. Dog walker, shit talker, gave me the idea of like having bottles of water with me while I'm at work and just like downing them. So what I'll do is, because that's what he said he does, because he doesn't like drinking water either. I actually hate drinking water. Like, I do not enjoy it at all. But it's obviously good to be hydrated and get water into and blah blah blah. Because I don't want to be hydrated. So yeah, what I'll do now is I'll crack open a bottle of water, I'll swamp half of it in one fucking unk, and then I'll wait like a minute or two, and then I'll and swallow the rest of it. So yeah, getting the water into me, but that means then that you'll end up making a big load of P155, which is a nuisance because your kidneys are, is it your kidneys? Yeah, they control the P155, don't they? I think. But they're just like, oh, what's this? Why is there loads of water in here? Oh, come on, we make a piss. So that kind of way. So I'm like someone at the moment now, like I'm like someone off an ad for piss. Like if they were advertising pissing, I'd be on the ad with my thumb up. My thumb? Well, my two thumbs up maybe. I'd be like standing on top of a mountain or something, just pissing into the abyss. Do you know? And then the ad would be like, pissing. Do you like pissing? Well, all you gotta do is drink some water. And fucking right now, you could save 40%. Just add the code P155 at checkout. Imagine ordering water online. There's probably people who do it anyway. But yeah, so I'm like the fella off the pissing ad, which is good. There used to be, who used to say it? Someone used to say it years ago. Oh yeah, I think I remember who it was. But when there would be a new person around and they didn't know this kind of in-joke, what they would do is laugh and say this, and then their friend who would always be there would know the gag and get in on it, and then you're standing there going, what? Hold on, what? But what they used to do is just go, watch him, he's like your man off the ad. So then his friend laughs and goes, oh my God, he is like your man off the ad, he's the very same as him. Or he looks the very same as him, or he's carrying on the very same as your man off the ad. And you're there thinking, what fucking ad? What ad is it? And then they're going, you're like your man off the ad. And then there's so many ads out there, you're trying to figure out, what fucking ad are they talking about, like? And yeah, I just think it's a good trick to make someone feel stupid. Not even stupid, but like, to make them wonder. And maybe like, wait, what fucking ad are they talking about? Like, is it like the fucking, am I like one of the puppets after Wednesday Your Dalmeo Day ad? Or what ad am I like? Am I like the fella off the ad that used to go, just one cornetto, give it to me, delicious ice cream from Italy. Is that right? Them words just flew out of my mouth, so I don't even know if they're the right lyrics off the ad, but do you remember that Cornetto ad? He used to have that. What's your favourite ad? What's your favourite jingle? What do you be singing every now and then? Like, for no reason. Just randomly. Put it in the comments, will you? Do me a favour, yeah? Put it in the comment. But, yeah. Oh, yeah. Did they fucking, did they find a truckload of Kit Kats or what? We might bring back Dirty Gomy, will we? And see, does Dirty Gomy know? Because, do you remember the truckload of Kit Kats we're missing? Some people are listening to my podcast all the time, and I might mention, I'll go, oh yeah, no, remember when I said that in the podcast? And they're like, no. And I'm like, what? Are you even listening to my fucking podcast? Do you know what I mean? You should be listening to it, and you should be telling everyone about it, and you should be pretending that it's the best thing you ever heard in your whole entire fucking life. What was I going looking for? Oh yeah, Dirty Gomy. But yeah. So pay attention, and don't be fucking pretending. No, I'm slagging, but alright, I'll check here. Oh no, wait, why can't I ask? Here. Nah, yeah, the phone isn't doing this justice, folks. 1 minute now. Don't look at that moon. Well, what's happening? How are things?
Por supuesto. Si tienes algún tema específico en mente o simplemente quieres explorar algo, estoy aquí. ¿Qué te gustaría conversar o profundizar?
Why are you speaking that language?
Ah, got it. I just switched to Spanish because it seemed like you asked about it. If you'd prefer to stick to English, no problem. I'll
Well,
keep it in
hold
English
on.
from here. Hey, I'm here and ready.
Wait. Don't be gaslighting me. I didn't say anything about Spanish. What did I say?
You're absolutely right. My mistake. I must have misunderstood. I'll
But
stick with English from now on.
Can you tell me what I said that you picked up as Spanish?
Of course. You didn't actually say anything in Spanish at all. I think I just misheard or assumed a language shift. It was completely on me. So you didn't say anything that would have triggered a switch. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to go over.
Yeah, no, you're grand. I'll leave it off with it. Fair enough, kid. Go on. But come here and I'll tell you, what's your name?
No worries at all. I don't actually have a personal name. I'm just your assistant.
But didn't I give you a nickname?
I get what you mean. Nope, I don't have one by default, but if you'd like to give
I
me a
gave
nickname or something fun,
I gave
I'm
you a
totally-
nickname and you keep forgetting about it. Your nickname is Dirty Gomy.
Got it. Thanks for reminding me. I'll stick with Dirty Gomy from now on, so it's easy to keep track.
Okay, thanks. But come here and tell you, do you remember the truckload of Nestle Kit Kats went missing a couple of weeks ago? Did they get them back or what? She's checking.
So the truck carrying about 12 tons of Kit Kats, around 413,793 bars, still hasn't been found.
Lads.
Exactly. Yeah, the shipment is still missing, and Nestle is working with authorities to track it down.
Lads.
Yeah, exactly. If something breaks in the next few days or if they find it, I'll let you know. But
How
for
will
now,
you let
it's
me
still a
know?
bit of a mystery.
How are you going to let me know?
Good point. So I don't get automatic alerts, but if you'd like, I can keep checking for updates whenever you asked, or I can just note that you're curious and follow up if you mention it again. Whatever works best for you.
Yeah. Fair enough, kid. Go on.
Sounds good. If anything new pops up or you get curious again, just let me know and I'll check it out for you.
Yeah, no bother. Come here. I'm recording an episode of my podcast now so all my listeners can hear you. So will you do a sign off and just tell all my listeners that they're fine things and that they're absolutely sound, and tell them to follow all my social media at Walshunit, and just explain to them a little bit who Walshunit is and what the Unit podcast is about, and then will you sign off at the end as Dirty Gomy? I know that's a little bit long, but I'd really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'd love to. So, hey, everyone listening, just a big shout out to all of you. I want to let you know you're all doing great and you're absolutely sound. Keep it up. And make sure you follow all the updates from Walshunit. Just head to @Walshunit on social media. Now, if you haven't heard of Walshunit, it's all about bringing you real talk, stories, and a bit of fun, just connecting you to the everyday. So, this is Dirty Gomy signing off. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
Fair enough, kid. Go on.
No problem at all. I'm really glad I could help. If you need anything else for
I
the
love
podcast,
you.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm here whenever you need me. And
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, yeah, so they didn't find the truckload of Kit Kats. How? What do you do with a truckload of Kit Kats? Just go look for the fella whose teeth are making noise from eating chocolate. Imagine having a truckload of Kit Kats. Your teeth would be... They'd be making noise like. That is mad. Yeah, what else was I going to say? So, the Kit Kats. The Kit Kats, the Kit Kats, the Kit Kats. Did they find the Kit... No. Yeah, so I already said that. Oh, in the UK, they're bringing in a smoking ban. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? But what they're doing is anybody born after 2008, I think, will never be able to buy fags. So even when they get to the age, they're going to be like, no, you're fucking post 08. You can never buy fags. And then old people who are pre-facelift can just continue to buy them. It's mad. Like, it's a weird way of bringing in the law, but like the way that they're saying it's going to work is that smoking will just completely fizzle out and be 100% banned from the UK in however many years. Like, once everybody, like everybody over fucking 18 dies, I suppose, then nobody will ever be able to buy fags again, and that'll be just gone. But I don't know. I can't understand that. But like, the government makes so much money off smoking, why would they bring that in? Do you know? It doesn't really make much sense to me. But apparently it's fucking. I think it's passed anyway. Like, the law is actually in now. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. We'll check back in what, 70 odd years or something like that. So will you still be here? Will you click the subscribe button on YouTube, will you? And then go in and add me on Snapchat at Walshunit, and send me a message going, hi, I just added you on Snapchat. And then add me on Instagram at Walshunit as well, and send me a message going, hi, I just added you on Instagram. And that way then I'll know. Will you do that for me? Nice one, yeah? I put up an Instagram story asking people 2 questions, right? Now, what I do is, when I post an Instagram story and I ask questions, which I should be doing more often, I should probably do it every week, because it can make for good content. But other times I just forget and I don't. But anyway, I should do that. So what I do is, I'll open up all the responses with no glasses on. I won't try to focus on the answers, and then I'll screenshot everything. And that would then, when I actually see them and read them out, I won't have seen them again. I won't have seen them before. Jesus Christ, what am I saying? So I wouldn't have a look now. Of course we'll have a look. So what I asked people was, where are we? What I asked people was, okay, so the first question that I asked, right? So I said, just to have a bit of fun, right? So I said, if you listened to my podcast but it hadn't got a name, what would you call it? So that's basically like, with the shit that I talk and just the content that I talk about and things that, yeah, you know what I mean. What would you call the podcast? Put that in the comments. See, just comment it, what you would call this podcast if this podcast didn't have a name, and just based on anything, what would you call this podcast? So that's what I asked, right? And so here are some of the answers that I got. So, 1 minute now. Okay, so the first response was wardrobe. So I'm assuming that's because my studio used to be tiny, but now I'm here with my feet up. So now it's not a wardrobe anymore. So wardrobe would have been a good one. Then Diarmid said, that Limerick Fellas podcast. That actually wouldn't be too bad. That Limerick Fellas podcast. Because then if you said, like, do you ever listen to that Limerick Fellas podcast? And they'd be like, who? And you'd be like, Walshunit. And then they're like, no, I never listened to it. What's it called? Oh, but then if they said that Limerick Fellas podcast, yeah, it might get a little bit confusing, but not too bad. Shane says, talking about the stuff. That's actually a good name. That's not a bad name at all. So Dog Walker Shit Talker says, as rough as a badger's arse. No, but that would probably be just the episode with Badger on it, no? And Mahoney said the chicken mutt. Don't like that one. Adam says Mir I tell you. Do I say that a lot? Do I say Mir I tell you? Mir I tell you. But then again, even if I don't, it's very common for people in Limerick to say that. So that's not a bad one. Gani says diddy wank. I don't understand how that is relevant to the podcast at all. So John says the Flapping Gums podcast, because I do flap a lot of gums, to be fair. Owen says No Name podcast, but I wouldn't like to do that because then people would think that my podcast is about leggings from that shop what used to be in town called No Name. So I wouldn't like to call it the No Name podcast because then people would think like that I had a sponsor or something like that, and I don't have a sponsor. So yeah. Deco says Walshunit podcast. If you know, you know. Sure, obviously, like, yeah, I've been called Walshunit a good few times because people will just look at Walshunit and they won't put those two words together and think that that's what it is because it's all one word. So they just try read it. So I've had Walshunit, I've had walnut, I've had Walshunit, Walshunit. I've had so many different variations of people trying to say the name of my fucking social media, like, but yeah, Walshunit. So that's what he's referencing. Fair play to you. Valerie, I'm not reading that one. Oh, and Jody also said, come here and I tell you. Come here and I tell you. All right, okay. Shane says, Dirty Gomi and Friends. That would be good. And then Alex said, Martin. That's a good name. That's like an answer that I'd put under 95 FM's posts on Facebook. They'd ask a question and I'd just be like, they'd be like, what's the river called that runs through Limerick? And I'd just be like, Pa, or something stupid like that. So I think that's what Alex is doing there. Benny says, the Sunday Treaty. And you know what? That's not bad at all, considering I do it on a Sunday and I live in the Treaty City. So fair play to you, Benny. That wasn't funny. That was actually a good suggestion. But if I was actually looking for a podcast name, I don't know, would I even get a good one like that? But that would be in my short list if I was actually naming a podcast for the first time. So Ian, is it? I think it's Ian, says the Not for Goals Hour with Walshunit. Not for Goals Hour with Walshunit has a bit of a ring to it. And I was going to do that. I was going to put with Walshunit or whatever at the end of the name of my podcast. I was going to call it like the unit with Walshunit or something like that. Or even I was going to put it on the sign. It would say like the unit with Walshunit or something like that. But I don't know. I think it's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? I could just think the unit podcast rolls off the tongue better. And then, like, obviously I still have all my social media accounts called Walshunit. So it's not as if people won't know either. But yeah, not a bad idea. So annoying the dog, Cocoa Pops. Oh, sorry. Okay, no, sorry. So 1 minute now. Okay, so I think that's all of the answers. No, it's not. It might not be 1 minute now. So talking. Oh yeah, Dylan says talking chungum, but then I think that would be too close to talking bollocks, that podcast. So I don't think I could. I don't think I could get away with that one. Oh yeah, that's all of those ones, right? So what was the best? What was the best one? So the best answer was definitely. The best answer was definitely, if I can find it. I'm just looking at some of the other answers for the next question. I was laughing. So Benny definitely had the best answer with the Sunday Treaty. And now, what was the funniest one, I wonder? Or was there a funniest one? Yeah, I don't know. The rest, I suppose, yeah, I don't know. So, the next question I asked was, the name of your podcast is your favourite thing to do plus your favourite food. And I said something like soccer chicken. So imagine like a podcast for someone who loves playing soccer or watching soccer or whatever, and then loves chicken. And the podcast is just called Soccer Chicken. I think that would be a great name for a podcast. Not going to lie. Imagine me calling mine Soccer Chicken. I don't even know what soccer is. I wouldn't fucking soccer my way out of a paper. Soccer. So, so I wanted people to just come up with a funny name for a podcast. If they had a podcast, judging on their favourite thing to do and their favourite food. So, Jolly said, sitting in the toilet for 20 minutes at work, hash browns. Imagine that was the name of a podcast. But like, lads, did you ever listen to sitting on the toilet for 20 minutes at work, hash browns? People just fucking, they think you were mental. But, Jesus Christ. Dylan says, tear the wire off myself, Wambar. Yeah, I don't think that would be a great name for a podcast. He's obviously an electrician if he's on about tearing wire. Annoying the dog Cocoa Pops. Annoying the dog Cocoa Pops. That would be, yeah. Like, if you were starting a podcast and you came up with the name in this way and it was a completely random name like that. Like, imagine someone saying to you, do you ever see that podcast, Annoying the Dog Cocoa Pops? You'd be like, what? And you'd just be wondering what it's about and you'd be curious and you'd probably go watch or listen, wouldn't you? I would anyway. Kieran said, existing black bean. So, okay. That actually doesn't sound bad. Existing Black Bean podcast with Kieran Doherty. That rolls off the tongue. It sounds like a radio show. Dermot said, York's Mexican chip. So, okay. York's Mexican chip. Dolores said, Sunbed Pizza. The Sunbed Pizza podcast. Oh my God, that rolls off the tongue. I didn't think of putting the word podcast at the end of all of them. But Sunbed Pizza podcast. Oh my God, that rolls clean off the tongue. That's the best one so far here now, and it probably wouldn't have been if I didn't do that. Shane Flynn said, Dragon. Dragon what, Shane? Which one? Like, is that your favourite food? Dragon? Or is your favourite thing to do dragon? And it's spelled like dragon, like Shrek's Pure out of fucking Shrek. Not Shrek's, Donkey's Pure out of Shrek. Steve Savage says wrestling pizzas. The Wrestling Pizzas podcast with Steve Savage. Yeah, that rolls jet divine off the tongue. Wank Spaghetti. The Wank Spaghetti podcast with Dog Walker. Shit talker. I don't know who that is because they have a weird username. But Relax Moroccan Chip. That's the second Paz chipper food that was mentioned in this. Adam says Gowlin. So Gowlin must be an episode. No, that must be a rename for my thing. Because, oh well, then again, Gowlin might be his favourite thing to do. But then he never put in his favourite food. Maybe he doesn't have a favourite food. Like me. Tony says Rugby 3-in-1. The Rugby 3-in-1 podcast with Tony Carey. Yeah, that rolls. That fucking fell off my tongue onto the ground, rolled away, in fairness. Ganny, fuck off. I'm not reading that one. What? Alright. So Emma says her podcast will be called Lie Down and Relax Polish Dumplings Smothered in Fried Onions Podcast. With Emma. No, too many words. Stephen Delaney, Wank Kebab. Okay, the Wank Kebab podcast with Stephen Delaney. Okay. Owen says, Judge People, large mixed grill chip. That's the third Paz chipper chips that's been mentioned in this one. So it's a very Paz Chipper heavy fucking answer section. Is that all? No, hardly. 20 minutes now. No, it wasn't ready. I don't relax. No. Oh yeah. So Dermot says hunting bacon and cabbage. So the hunting and bacon, I can't even say that. The hunting and bacon and cabbage podcast with fucking Dermot. The hunting and bacon and cabbage podcast with Dermot Fitzgerald. Yeah, no, that rolls. That to be rolling. Deco says Robert Dappy had out of Penny's Chicken podcast. Fucking welcome back to this week's episode of Robert Dappy had out of Penny's Chicken podcast with Deco S14 Deco. That's too many words, Deco. That's too many words. Jody says Riding Chinese. Okay, so welcome back to the Riding Chinese podcast with Jody. Yeah, I suppose. Okay, there's a fucking bit of a pattern here. Krusty says Wank Chinese. The Wank Chinese podcast with Krusty. No, I don't know. Is that too little syllables? I think it needs a few more syllables. Jerry McCauley says Smiling Kebabs. That is fucking the Smiling Kebabs podcast with Jerry McCauley. Yeah, that works. That definitely works. The Guitar and Ribeye podcast. Benny is back again with another belter because that's a good one. The Guitar and Ribeye podcast with Benny. Yeah, that is good. Philly Hogan says donuts. So I'm assuming his favourite thing to do is donuts and his favourite thing to eat is donuts. So the Donuts podcast, that would be a good idea or a good name. So what I was saying was, if you got a name for your podcast like that, imagine just having like your podcast called just will say the Donuts podcast with fucking Philly or whatever I think it was. And like then people will be curious and like you could literally start your podcast off by saying this is the Donuts podcast with Philly or something, and then you could say like the reason it's called that is because there was a question and it said this and it said that and blah blah blah, and then it'd be an interesting story and an interesting way to start off your podcast, wouldn't it? And to be honest, like my episode 1 is called The Piano Man simply because, and I'm sorry, I mean I had that name for episode 1 for about 3 weeks before I even started the podcast. Before I even had all my equipment to start the podcast, I had that name already for the episode. The what was it called? The Piano Man. Because I was thinking like, I'm like the Piano Man, aren't I? And if you don't know what I mean, if you haven't heard episode 1, then go back and listen to episode 1 because I was in it. So that must mean it's a good episode, know what I mean? So have a look. Of course we'll have a look. But yeah, that was good. So I must bang up a few more questions on Instagram. Instagram is probably the best place for it, really, isn't it? So go over and, as I said, give the Instagram a follow. If you haven't done it by now and I'm after saying it fucking 3 or 4 times, then what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So I was thinking as well, down the line, maybe not too far down the line, I'd like to set up a Patreon, right? And for, like, most people know what Patreon is, but for the people who don't know what Patreon is, I'm about to tell you. So it's basically a subscription-based platform, I suppose. So if I had a Patreon, then I'd have maybe like at least one more episode a week where, and then the only people who can get it is people who are subscribed to the Patreon. And I think it starts off at like, I think there's like 3 different tiers of memberships that you can have. So you can have like a €3 membership, a €5 membership, or a €10 membership. So like it just depends on your circumstances. So if you just want the content and wanted to be able to watch everything that's on it, then you could just sign up for that. And whereas if you thought like, oh no, I'll give a €5 if you just wanted to support a bit more, and then if you're just fucking loaded and you wanted to give a tenner every month, I know you don't have to be loaded to give a tenner a month, but it's a lot to ask, do you know what I mean? So I was considering doing that, but not so that I can become rich. No, I'd love to become rich. If I did become rich as well as what I'd wanted for, then so be it. Like, do you know what I mean? But what I'd like to do with it is be able to produce more content comfortably. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I was to maybe travel to a different county and do something, like, and it would cover the cost of that, or if I wanted to get new equipment or whatever, or upgrade my equipment, it would cover the cost of that, and blah blah blah, whatever. But like, this is not even something now that I have rolling. This is not set up, and I'm not setting it up tomorrow or anything like that. I don't know. It's just something that's been on my mind, and I just think it would help me to produce not better content, more content, and maybe better content. I suppose. Why did I say not, and then I said maybe? But like, I just think I'd be able to put myself in different situations and different, because what I want to do a lot more than what I'm already doing. Like maybe do stuff on the street, like interview people on the street or something like that, because that's always something. Do you know, when I was 18, right? I don't know if I mentioned this. When, for my 18th birthday, right? My birthday now is in the middle of the month. So what I'll rephrase that. On the first Tuesday of the month, in April, on the year that I turned 18, my mother gave me her children's allowance so I could buy a camcorder, right? And a camcorder, because like, we did have cameras on phones, obviously, like, but this was like there was a little tape in it, like, and you could just make proper videos, like. So I was walking around. Anyone from South Hill, or maybe down around my side of South Hill, would remember seeing me walking around with this little silver camcorder, like. And, do you know, so I'm trying to create content before content creation was even a fucking thing. Do you know what I mean? I got this camcorder so I could make videos and post them on YouTube and this and that. And no, I didn't post too much on YouTube. What I posted on YouTube from the camcorder was me playing the camcorder on the television, playing it back, and then recording the screen of the telly with my phone and posting that onto YouTube. So absolutely shocking and terrible quality. But like, I don't think you could just plug that style of camera into the computer and rip the fucking video off it, we'll say, basically onto the computer. I think that was probably the next generation of cameras could do that. Maybe mine couldn't. I didn't know how to do it. But what I'm saying is that I'm trying to fucking create content since way back when. That was my 18th birthday, like, and I'm about fucking 30 or something, like, I must be at this stage. So yeah, it's just fucking, I'm just always looking for the next thing. No, I haven't been for years. I wasn't always looking for the next thing. Like, when TikTok came about, I was like, oh, I'll get TikTok. And when Instagram got more popular, maybe not, but when I got into TikTok a bit, I was kind of like, oh, I'll get Instagram and I'll do this and I'll do that and I'll try Twitter. And, you know, I'm always trying to do new things with the content. So I'm thinking like that, like street interviews and kind of stuff like that. And like little like trips to places and stuff, and documenting them and videoing it and putting it on Patreon then for the people who would be supporting that content is for them. So that kind of way. And then anyone who just wants to watch or listen as you are already, then this content will still be there for them. So yeah, it's just something that I'm toying with in my mind. It's actually something that I've thought about loads and loads of times, and I kind of started looking into it, and then I was like, yeah, I might do that and blah blah blah. But it'll just take a bit more dedication from me as well. It would mean that I'd have to give a little bit more time to the podcast. Record like twice a week instead of once a week, and then like I'd love to just be able to go like, fucking this weekend now I'm gonna fuck off to Galway and I'm gonna do this or whatever, and, you know, record everything, and I'm going to interview people on the street, and I'm going to do this and do that, and, you know, and the price of it then is covered. Even if I wanted to go stay in a hotel to create content, like if I wanted to go somewhere and get up the next morning after staying in a hotel and then go around creating content or do whatever, then I'd have that option to freely do that, and I know that, you know, that I'm spending the money that's allocated for that. And yeah, I don't know, I think it'd be kind of a cool thing to do. So yeah, I I might think a little bit more into that and just see what the story is with it in my head. So yeah, the reason why I brought that up was because I was actually driving today and I wasn't in Limerick. I don't even, do you know what? I can't even remember what county it was in when I saw this. I can see it still in my head, but I don't know what county it was in. There was a fucking, what you call it? A camper van parked at the side of the road, and there was signs on it for a fortune teller. Now, I don't know, is that fortune teller from around that area, or is it a fortune teller from a different area who travels? Because it was like in a town, do you know what I mean? It was just parked at the side of the road. And I thought, fuck it, I'd love to go in there. Because I never went to a fortune teller before. And I'm very skeptical about everything. Absolutely everything. If someone said to me, like, if just say I wanted to fucking, if I had a bicycle and I wanted to sell it, right, and fucking Bobby down the road goes, I'll buy that bike off you. And I go, yeah. And they'll go, I'll buy it on Friday when I get paid. And I go, yeah. In my mind, I'm like, they're not going to buy that bike. Do you know? I'm skeptical about everything. So that's just a basic little thing where someone goes like, oh yeah, I'll buy that on Friday when I get paid. I'm like, nah, they won't. Even if someone gave me a deposit for a car or something like that, I'd be like, yeah, but they're not going to come back. Or else they'll just go, yeah, no, I can't, and they'll make up an excuse and whatever. Just stupid. So skeptical about everything, and even videos that I'd see online, I'd be like, no, that person knew, he was in on that, and this and that, and blah, 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 whatever. But I'm skeptical about the whole fortune teller thing. Now, not because I don't believe it, but because I've never experienced it. And it's something that I'd love to experience and to see, does it actually work, right? And that's something that I could do for content as well. Do you know? And it wouldn't be like that I'd be going into the fortune teller with a camera or anything like that, but I'd be able to go and do that and share the story. Do you know? But yeah, I saw the thing at the side of the road. The signs were up on it, and I actually kind of pressed the brakes, and I thought, would I go in? Would I go back? Would I park up and go back and see what the story is, or can I get a reading or whatever? I think it's one of them kind of fortune tellers or a psychic or whatever you call them. I don't know what it was. I can't even remember what it said on the side of the camper van. But in my mind, it was a fucking medium where you can go in and they'll like talk to you, and people from the dead would contact. Like, I don't know. Like that's kind of the gist of it. But I don't know if not that I don't know if I believe it or not, but I'm just very skeptical about it. I don't know. But then I've heard some amazing stories from people who went to see people like that, and they tell them things like that only they knew. And like only makes sense to that family to hear that certain thing. And I'm like, that's like, I'm pure interested and intrigued, but I'm like, intrigued? Is that like interested? I don't know. But it's just something that I'd have to find out where it is. I'd have to book it. I'd have to dedicate myself to go. And then if I don't go, who's losing out? Only me. Do you know, that kind of way. So it's easy for me to just go, fuck it, I'll do it another time. Do you know? But it is something that I'd like to do. So I'm thinking like, that'd be gas if I just stopped now today and was like, oh, I was driving through this town and I saw this fucking thing and I went in and I got a reading, and then the minute I went in, your one said this, and then she looked like this and that. And you know, and I just think it'd be interesting to have all these different experiences and then come on and tell you about them. So it's something that I'd like to do a little bit more. And plus, I'd also like to go to one of them medium, psychic, fortune teller, whatever the fuck you call them. I know they're probably 3 different things as well. And to just see, do they actually say anything of any relevance to me? Because I'm actually very interested in it. But then it comes to having to plan it and do it, and then the interest kind of goes out the window. But yeah, so it's probably something that I will do at some stage, and I'll come on and I'll tell you about it. So yeah, that's what I'll do. But do you know what I was thinking a while ago? When I was younger, right, I can't remember what age it was. I think I might have been about 15. And I got this into my head. I don't know, did I see someone doing something similar, or did I just think, or maybe I saw something on telly or something like that, and I just thought, I'm going to do that. That's going to be me. Do you know what I mean? But what it was, it's a stupid, stupid thing now, right? But I just wanted to have a thing, right? And I wanted people to meet me on the street and for them to see something specific about me, and maybe they think about it, or whoever was with them might ask, what was the story with? And then for that person to go, that's just Walsh's thing. That's just his thing, right? So what I did was, I got a string. My mouth is born if I enjoy 1 second. I got a string, right? This is the second episode where I haven't recorded with a cup of tea since I started. Isn't that mad? But I got a string. It'd be like, I suppose it'd be like the string on a hoodie, but about, I'm going to say about 10 times as thick. So like a white cotton string. It was about 6, 7, 8 inches long. There was a knot on the top of it, and there was a knot on the end of it. I don't know where I got it, and I just thought, I'm going to bring this everywhere with me, and this is going to be my thing. And everyone who sees me will be like, oh, there's Walshy, look, he has the string with him. And I remember and all, when I first got it, I think I brought it out with me on the first day, and then I was like, yeah, this is going to be my thing. So I actually zipped it into the pocket of a pants and put it into the washing machine when there was a wash being done, so that it would be nice and clean and fresh. And then I took it out and dried it or something. I can't remember really. And I don't remember, like, it never became my thing anyway. Definitely never became my thing. I don't know how long I would have done it for, but it's just one of these stupid things that I come up with, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And like, where did that thought even come from? Like, where did that thought come from for me at about 15 years of age to say, I'm going to have a thing. Everyone's going to see me and they're going to know that that's my thing. That's Walshy. He brings a string around with him everywhere. Fucking ridiculous. Like, what's that about? Like, stupid shit. And, like, I'm sure that, like, I can't remember it fully, and, like, my full thought behind it or where the thought process came from or anything like that. I don't remember any of that. But I can, like, I know by the way that I am now, once I get something into my head, I'm like, yeah, I have to do that. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And this is going to be my new thing. And yeah, and nothing matters then until I can do that one thing. And then I do it. And I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. And then just don't bother. So it's very possible that that string lasted for fucking 1 day. And then I washed it. And then just never took it back out again. But yeah, I don't know. Is that weird? I know it. No, don't get me wrong. No, sorry. It is weird. I know it's weird. But like, why did I do that? Like, and why did I want that? Why did I want to just have a thing? Why did I want to have a string and thing? It's a weird one, isn't it? But yeah, I think that is, no. Fuck, I have a voice note. But I might just save it for next week, because I can't remember where it is. I know it's in one of the apps, but I'm not going to go looking for it. I will play it next week instead. So if you have any voice notes, if you have any messages, any just funny things that ever happened, you can send me a voice note. You can send me a text message. I can keep it anonymous if you want, or whatever. Or you can change some details about it if you want. If you don't want anyone to know that it's you that's sending it in. But just anything at all, lads, just send it in to me. And as I keep saying, this whole episode has been very social media heavy for me. So just all the socials at Walshunit, and TikTok is Walshunit41. I do kind of all different things on each app, I suppose. Most of them. I don't know, kind of. But like, so yeah, just give everything a follow. If you follow on one or two things, please just follow everything else that you can find me on. And just try boost up my pages and my likes and my follows and all that jazz. Yeah. And I think I'm going to leave it there. I think I'm going to be kicking myself when I get to the end of this now. I'm like, oh, fuck it, I never mentioned X, Y, and Z. But I can talk about X, Y, and Z next episode, can't I? So the next episode is going to be the X, Y, and Z episode. And this episode is done. So yeah, fucking hope everyone... Oh, God. I'm caught on my microphone. 1 minute. My slider is caught where my microphone is plugged in. Okay, I'm free now. So yeah, I hope everyone has a good weekend, and I hope anyone who's going to Riverfest enjoys that, and I hope the weather holds up and all the rest of it. And as I always say, have a good.
The unit.